Hi, my name is Catherine Hayes, and today I will be telling the audience about the life of Keith Haring. I would like for y'all to understand the lifetime achievements of Keith Haring and also inform me about the educational careers and death of Keith Haring. The beginning of Keith Haring's life, he was born May 4th, 1958 in Reading, Pennsylvania. He developed a love for drawing at a very early age, learning basic cartoon skills from his father. In the early 1980s, a time of prosperities and new hopes for the American dreams, but it was the poverty emerging in the streets. A need of social change was expressed by young people making their marks on walls of the city of New York. These young people were the graffiti artists of New York. In the midst of the complex and sophisticated society, cave drawings were making a comeback. The city began sponsoring public announcements and confused questionings whether the drawings were symbols of cults. Strange chalk drawings amended the subways covered vacant blackboards. They weren't factory printed like ads. Someone had stood there and drawn them on the spot. Andy Warhol became fascinated with Keith's work. In 1986, Haring followed Warhol into the world of commercial art when he was chosen to do an ad for Absolute Vodka. The vodka ad and many others helped Haring to reach out to the wider audience. In April 1986, Haring opened the Pop Shop, a retail store in Soho selling t-shirts, toys, posters, buttons, and magnets bearing his image. The shop was intended to allow people to have access to his artwork on clothes for a very low cost. Throughout his career, Haring devoted much of his time to public work, which often carries social messages. He produced more than 50 public artwork between 1982 and 1989 in a dozen of cities around the world, many of which were created for charities, hospitals, children's daycare centers, and orphanages. He was chosen to build various sculptures, including one that was made and revealed in the presence of young patients at a children's hospital in Long Island. Aware of the media attention, Keith attracted the West Germany Museum and invited Haring to paint a political statement on the wall in Berlin. At the time that Keith had been rising in the art world, he had lost a number of close friends to the fatal disease of AIDS. Towards the end of 1988, Keith was diagnosed with AIDS. The next year, he created the Keith Haring Foundation to support AIDS organization and children programs. He died on Friday, February 16, 1990 in New York City. A memorial service was held on May 4th, 1990 at the Cathedral of St. John in New York City, with over 1,000 people in attendance. Since his death, Haring has been the subject of several international retrospectives. Today, a vast national and international public remembers Keith Haring for his strong, provocative, often smile-inducing work. The icon figures of downtown New York art scenes in the 80s. I use the scholarly sources Baker Kenneth, S.F. Gate documentary, Bio Haring, the Keith Haring Foundation, 1997 through 2012, Gurin John, Haring Kids, Keith Haring Foundation, Keith Haring Biography, A+E Television Network, Keith Haring, Madonna, Buddy, Warhol Inspiration. And that is my audience. Y'all clap.